1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. SymphonyX, Egypt, off the New Mythology Suite. Awesome song. I was always intrigued by the sounds of that harmony. Very nice 6/8 feel on that. It's great for choruses. And that's something that Michael Romeo uses a lot. He uses 3 and 6 in the choruses to get a really nice hook. Good compositional technique. It's one that he uses extensively. And not a lot of other people are using it as much as he does it, but it really does work. The other thing he'll do is he'll modulate to those sections with triplets, quarter note triplets a lot of the time. But the harmony of this, we start out in C sharp, and the vocal melody is going, which is very cool because it's an upper structure of that C sharp. We've got, in the vocal melody, we've got E sharp, passing tone of F sharp, G sharp. So we've got the 3rd and the 5th. And right when it goes to, he sings a B note, which is actually the root of the B minor chord, which they go to next. So, well, harmonically, you could say that's a D major 6, but it's also kind of a suspension from that C sharp dominant 7 flat 9. We don't actually hear the flat 9, but that's what it would be. And we know this because we're in the key of F sharp minor. So we go for this C sharp. Back to the C sharp. That note doesn't sound in tune that well in that position anyway, but being a little out of tune doesn't help. But that chord is, how are we getting from C sharp to B minor? Okay, that makes sense. The B minor is the 4 chord in F sharp minor. But then it goes to B flat 5, and in the vocal melody, he's playing. Now, what notes are those? Well, that's going to be on the B flat. That's a D flat, that's a 3rd. That's a 2nd, that's a passing tone. And we know it's a passing tone because we're going through that note to the 5th. That note right there is an F. So for the B flat, that's, or we could call it an A sharp, and this would be an E sharp. So this would be a C sharp, D sharp, E sharp. That's the 5th of that A sharp chord. And so that's a chord tone. And then it leaps up to the root. Sorry, at least with the 3rd. So let's rewind on those chords and review those. We've got this, we go from B minor to A sharp minor. What is A sharp minor in the key of F sharp minor? That's not in the key of F sharp minor anymore. It's Well, we could look at it as modal interchange. Where if we were in F sharp minor and we went to F sharp major, that could be the 3 chord of F sharp major. The other thing we can call it is a chromatic mediant, because the mediant is the chord built off the 3rd tone in the scale. And so the 3rd tone in the scale would be A. But if we raise that A to A sharp, then that's going to give you a chromatic mediant. We build a chord off that, build that A sharp minor, and that's just going to sound a little bit out. Next, rather than going to anything that's really related to that, goes a tritone, which is a very powerful metal sound, to that E5 chord, which in the key of F sharp minor is the flat 7. So for that, you would want to naturally hear a Mixolydian sound. So if we were here, go up to that G sharp from that F, or from the E sharp, the G sharp is going to go on the 3rd of that E chord. Then it goes to the B. But we've got a D sharp in the melody. He's singing a D sharp. Whereas if we were earlier in this, where we were in the key of F sharp minor, it was a B minor. Now it's B sharp. Now it's B major with an E sharp on there, or D sharp on there. Sorry. And then it goes to that G sharp, which is going right back into that C sharp Phrygian. So let's go one more time over the whole thing. C sharp Phrygian, E minor, G5, C sharp Phrygian, E minor, A sharp minor, B, G sharp. Sharp minor, E, B, G sharp, and then after that he goes into some weird C Phrygian with whole step, half step. And I can't remember how to play the rest of that riff.